Guys, welcome back to another update video on Bitcoin. So the current movement of Bitcoin is going pretty much what we have said. Now, we talked about the retracement and we gave some of the levels that it could pull back. We're looking at 91,231, we're looking at the 92,600, and then we're looking at the 93,800. And we'll talk about if it can actually break that level, we could see Bitcoin on the reversal and test the 100K. But these pullback levels were ultimately used to know to when to short Bitcoin. We talked about in our last video about shorting Bitcoin essentially to this 84,000 level. This is where I think Bitcoin is going to go to. Now, in terms of is it going to go lower than that? That obviously depends on whether or not it's going to break through below this 83, 84K support. If it does, then we're looking at Bitcoin going towards that 70K, 60K territory. But as of right now, we're taking these short-term trades for Bitcoin to swing to 84K. And then ultimately what we're looking at then is actually longs from 84K. We're going to be start accumulating and positioning in from 84K under the circumstance that it obviously doesn't break below 83, but that's where we want to accumulate and go for that long towards that back up to that 100K. And you can see what is going on in the charts right now. We've already seen. So it pulled back on the 38.2, essentially pulled back on this 91,000 level, which we highlighted in our last video. And you can see since then, the price is obviously going downwards. We are looking at this to be potential pullback. So this is what one would regard as the new lower high. And now we're on our way to make a new lower low, or if you want to use it as the wave structure, you can see it's forming for that downward movement right now. And so 84 is ultimately our target. And for those of you who did watch the last video, you would have known some of the entry levels, and this is one of them. And so, of course, on leverage, you would be doing very well right now. What we're looking at is ultimately a 7, potential 8, 9% movement. Right now, you would already be around 4% movement, 4% in profit with leverage. That could obviously range depending on how much you use, but this is the trade idea really coming through. And so this is what we have to see. Once again, for the conclusion, we are looking at the downward movement of Bitcoin. I think once Bitcoin reaches 84K, then actually that's when we are going to be getting major movements. Remember, in the past, we've seen fake outs like this before from this over here. And so even when Bitcoin does go below 84K, 83K, you got to wait for it. You got to wait for the candle to close because there will be a definite pullback. If Bitcoin is going down towards that 70K level, even if it breaks this 84K support, it will still have a pullback. You always have to wait for that pullback. Now, this pullback may not touch exactly 83, but you will see it happening. So if we see a candle break all the way down here, it would have then pull back like this. So we may be seeing that. Now, once again, it may not touch all the way to the top. It may actually be a pullback like this, where it doesn't actually touch the support, but we know that it's a pullback. And then that's when you look for the downward movement. And so this is what you have to watch out for. The reason why I say you have to wait for it to close, because easily what we can see is a sell-off like this, but then instantly bought back up. And so the same thing could happen over here. And so in terms of where we are looking at right now, firstly, breaking below this 87K, minus support, minor resistance, ultimately looking at that 84K. And you guys, thank you for watching this video. As always, this is not financial advice, so do take away and say Graham. So make sure you do your own due diligence and research, and I'll catch you guys next time.